What's going on, everybody? Let's have a conversation. I'm your host, Class. This is my co-host,
Mr. J.
Yeah, and of course, you guys already know that we cannot go outside. We cannot interact with each other, but we can do at least a video chat, FaceTime each other. So that's the great thing about these wonderful devices.
Edition.
Yeah, quarantine edition. And today we decided we already have one in mind that we wanted to discuss, which is the two great shows that were made by the same creators. You got Parks and Recreation, and then you got Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And
Both are very binge-worthy.
Yeah, and we're gonna get a chance to talk about the characters and sometimes some of the strengths and the weaknesses to certain characters in the show, because both shows were great, and we do have our own preferences and opinions on each character and so on. So I'm gonna want to start talking about let's talk about the basic, like the second characters. The characters are not really that significantly important, and let's start with Parks and Recreation's Tom Hagerford, because I know you have an opinion on this guy.
Man, look, I liked Parks and Rec. I really did. Don't get me wrong there, but Tom was my least favorite character. He's just like, I've seen annoying characters, but this guy is just, it's almost overblown to see him do this, and I'm just like, dude, really? Like, I don't remember what even happened in the episode, but I think Andy or somebody poked him. He's like, oh, he poked my tum-tum.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm like, dude, come on, man. Like, I don't know, man. I don't really know how to say this, but he's just like the least manly character on this show. Like, and that includes some of the women. Some of the women are like more butch than he is. But, that's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, he plays this obnoxious character and
douche. He plays a douche.
Yeah, he plays a douche. He plays like this pampered, guy. And I don't like that high maintenance guy. He's got the tum-tums, like all that. It's funny for a minute, but then if you have it for the entire show, it can get a little dry. I'm sure he had a little humor, comfortability to some of the show, but I don't. If we're gonna talk about like strength-wise, he wasn't obviously the strongest one in the show.
No.
And if I was gonna compare besides Tom, because Tom is one of the weakest in the show, I'm gonna say that if I had to say about in Brooklyn Nine-Nine's weakest on the show, the least that are not that significantly important is, I think, Scully and Hitchcock, to be honest.
It's funny that you mention that, because now that the show has gone on a little bit longer,
yeah,
Scully and Hitchcock have begun to be more significant in the show, and they've kind of pointed that out.
Yeah, they did.
And, they've kind of like had their own episodes now, so I think like that was the show's counter to that. I think they picked up on that early on, and they corrected it. Obviously, losing some characters probably pushed that.
Yeah,
but,
definitely.
Most people probably have said, these two, I don't see what's so funny about them. I don't see the point. They're kind of like, they're a side character. They're not exactly significant or important. And the writers are just like, oh, wait a minute, hold on.
Look, I'll tell you this. Hold on, let me put my screen up a little big for a second. I'll tell you this. Scully and Hitchcock's episode, their own episode, was hands down one of my favorites. So, yeah. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am wrong to say that it's Scully and Hitchcock that are the weakest characters, but I think the only reason why I'm making that point is because, obviously, if Gina didn't leave, let's put this scenario, okay? Let me put it back in the screen. Let's say if you had to choose between them. Let's say, oh, I want to keep someone on the show. I'm going to eliminate one of these characters. Obviously, Scully and Hitchcock are a two-set deal. And Gina. I'm going to let you decide. Which one do you want to get rid of from the show? Who are you going to get rid of?
Honestly, that's tough.
That's tough, man. Because you're going to get rid of Scully and Hitchcock because Gina is the best. I mean, I'm sorry, dude. she is too much and too funny to get rid of. And the fact that I don't see her anymore in the show is killing me, dude. You know, it's like not seeing her anymore. And dude, I still can't get over the episode where like Terry's thinking about leaving and stuff like that, and or moving to a different police precinct or whatever, and then Gino's like, "Oh, despite of what I've been saying, that ass might just quit." That shit was so funny, dude. So I will say that, like, yeah, I think if we were gonna say comparison wise, like even if you put anybody else, Scully and Hitchcock together, put Amy, Charles, Terry, Rosa, any of them, I think the least person I would probably think that's not too important or is close to somewhat even competing somewhat is Amy. Because Amy's cool, but I don't think she's that relevantly and more cooler than Rosa Diaz. Like, I think Rosa is a lot more funnier in a way. Amy's funny because she's like a teacher's pet in a way.
Yeah, like, that's the thing. I really think that both of them need to remain in the show because they both have they're both extremely funny, but in their own way.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, you're right.
Rosa comes in with that, like, those quiet little zingers every now and then, and when you catch it, it's just like, whoa, you know, because she's so, like, calm and just, like, she's badass. She's just, what's up? You know, so when she finally does make a joke, it's just like, whoa, hey, she is funny, you know?
Yeah, no, I get that, dude. But look, here's what I think is the problem, though. Because, I mean, let's throw this hypothetical. Because I think Rosa bounces off anybody. Think about Ron Swanson, for instance, in Park and Recreations. That guy can bounce off. He can stand alone, or he can bounce off anyone. He puts someone next to him, and he will be funny with them. So that's the thing about Rosa. I feel like with Rosa, you can get the same results. You got this silent demeanor. You already got like a enthusiastic character like Charles to kind of like, you know.
Her team up with Captain Holt are hilarious.
Oh, dude,
back and forth.
They're so great, especially when they're talking about the breakup and everything like that and how to handle it. I am sad.
Thank you for acknowledging my feelings. We're both great at this. Yeah, no, that was awesome.
That's why I like. Okay, so let's talk about the strongest characters in the show. Now, let's talk Parks. Who do you think is the strongest?
Definitely Leslie Knope and Ron Swanson and April Ludgate.
Yeah, you know what? Well, no, you know what? I will disagree with the April part. I think April is great. I just don't think she's also like the key essential thing to making the show. If you're gonna say, I would say like Ron, Leslie, and let me think. One more other one. I would say Jerry or Andy. One of those two. I feel like one of those two.
I can see Andy.
Because Andy is hands down just his like dumb demeanor. Like if you had to pick between the two, like April and Andy, I'm gonna want to see Andy more. Because Andy, he's got that dumb humor, that childlike innocence. April's funny and weird, but funny and weird is not always so great for the audience, I think. Everybody likes a little of that spunky, dumb humor. If you've noticed, they use a lot of dumb, funny characters. Like think about it. Hitchcock and Scully are another perfect couple characters that are dumb. But their funny, dumb, happy gestures makes them even more hilarious, you know? April's funny. I just don't think she's, like, the main characters of the show.
I get that.
But if I had to compare between Leslie and Ron, if I had to pick between one of them, it's hard to say because the two of them bounce off each other like beautiful chemistry. But I will give it to Leslie. I don't know. Ron is a hard character to say no to be like, okay, if I gotta, who's better, Leslie or Ron? People are gonna be like, well, Ron, obviously. Ron's character is better, you know, because he's obviously mysterious.
You are gonna get that.
Yeah, he's got that, like, that funny one-liner zingers. He's too good. But I see Leslie and I see a lot of passion, a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of that, like over-the-top kind of goofiness that we would want.
That's her whole character.
Yeah, exactly. So that over-the-top goofiness that she is, at the same time, trying to be like I am going to tell you what to do and stuff like that. Actually, you know what? No, I'm wrong. Ron is better because I don't like that. I didn't like how Leslie always kind of played that little bossiness in the show. Sometimes I thought that was kind of a little bit annoying. At least with Ron, he left everything as it is, you know.
Yeah.
But with Leslie, it was always like, I gotta get involved in this somehow. I got to. I gotta put my freaking foot in it, you know.
My favorite interaction with Ron altogether was when he goes to Lowe's, and that's it. He just goes to Lowe's. He's walking around with a shopping cart. And the guy comes up to him. He works there. He's like, "Excuse me, sir. Can I help you?" And he's like, "I know more than you." Okay, and he walks away.
I love the one where the episode where he has like there's a note that's all scribbled in writing and it's his will, and the guy's like, what does this say? And he's like, I knew you wouldn't kill me. I'm like, what the
yeah. Something like
yes.
He who kills me gets all my stuff.
Yeah, he's like
Ron, this isn't a will. He's like, the man who kills me will understand.
That's what, dude, honestly. Let's see here. Let's talk about the other characters, the other extra cast in there from the Parks and Recreation. Cause we got Don Amigo, Jerry Gergich, Ann Perkins, Chris Schrader, and Ben Wyatt. Jerry was funny.
Jerry's funny, dude. I just felt bad for him sometimes.
I know, that's why I was.
Treats him like shit.
It's crazy because like some of the times, like if you notice, they changed a lot of the stuff in the show from the first season and on. Like I don't like when they do that. I understand they have to increase or change certain things in order to improve the show's ratings and so forth, but I don't like when they completely change it off key. Like remember the Charles and Rosa Diaz situation where they had he had a feeling or a relationship idea with her, or he was wanting to get involved with her, and now it's like not even mentioned at all ever after that.
Yeah, no, they basically moved on from that around, I don't know, season 2, season 3?
Yeah.
Something like that.
And then I didn't like how Parks and Recreations had this one guy. You know what? I will give him credit for getting rid of him. The one guy in the first season, what's his name? He's the one who dates Leslie, or he's like kind of a douchebag, and he dates Anne after, or he hooks up with Leslie, but Mark Van Danowitz. Yes, he was awful to the show, man. If there was one character they needed to cut the fat off, it was that guy. That guy was.
Really? You weren't digging Mark, huh?
I wasn't, dude. First off, he was a sarcastic, smart douchebag. That's all he was. And I think that's why everybody was like, yo, we gotta get rid of this dude. This dude's not that great in the show. Not a lot of people want to watch this guy. That's when Ben shows up. He's like this smart, like a smart guy, but he's not like a total like douchebag. He's like this nerdy, like smart mouth or smarty, So there's like that difference. Donna, I think Don Amigo. If I had to say, if they had to choose between Tom or Donna, I would love to get rid of Tom for Donna, because Donna is fun. It's interesting. Her character. They try to give like first when they remember in the beginning in the first season.
Is one of the few characters I've actually seen make Tom funny.
Yeah. Exactly. The treat yourself. Yeah. Treat yourself. Yeah. Their skits.
That was it. It was like the only time I thought he was funny.
Well, no. What? You didn't like it with John Ralphio?
Huh?
You didn't like him with John Ralphio?
Man, honestly, when he started doing those with John Ralphio, I thought it was worse. I was like, I hate both of you. I was like, this is terrible. You just made a bad thing worse, man. What's wrong with you? I couldn't watch. I couldn't watch it after that, man. I quit.
I hear that, man. I hear that. Yeah, so like, but if I want to say, which one's the better show? Which one would you say is a better show?
I mean, I did like both shows, but I'm gonna say Brooklyn's better.
Yep, I agree. I actually, surprisingly, I loved Parks, but because of its message. I felt like some of the political standpoints in it was a very strong message in a way where it kind of resonated to kind of show people. Hold on, let me make my screen a little bigger. They kind of made people kind of more aware of what to do when it comes to being a politician, and how our political system should work, and how our political people representation of us should be about integrity instead of selling yourself out, and about bribes and being against the machine and all that stuff. So, hold on. Yeah, so I thought the message behind Parks and Recreations was pretty solid. I don't know if that was the point, but that's how I felt it was. But Brooklyn Nine-Nine is hands down just too much entertaining fun. Like, just too much entertaining fun. I wish they would add Ron into the show. And then they would just demolish that shit.
I mean, Ron Swanson himself hasn't, but the actor who plays him.
No, I know, yeah. Yeah, I saw that.
He has shown up.
Yeah, I saw that. And I like that they brought, like, the characters from Parks and Recreations into the show. So we'll leave it on this note for this one.
Andy Samberg, he was in Parks and Rec.
Yeah, he was a loud park guy, yeah. How's it going, guys?
What was he? He's like, I was listening to music too loud.
Yeah.
I left the stereo on. He's like shouting, and they're like, dude.
Yeah, so he... and then they brought Tom Hagerford's wife back as, like, what's his name? Damn, I forget. Damn. They brought her back. She played Teddy's girl. Okay. Do you remember that episode where Teddy and, like, Amy and Jake work together, and they're trying to pretend like, oh yeah, we think you're cool or whatever, and he starts talking about jazz brunch, and he goes to jazz brunch. The girl in that episode, the one he was dating, that was Tom's girl or wife at the time. Or it was in the other show. And then you also got Jerry, who plays the sheriff in a small town. And then, I mean, you got all the characters. I love that they bring these characters back and that they like add them on because they're funny. Especially what's his name? Pimento. Love him. He screams when he goes and plays hopscotch. You don't remember that?
No, I remember Pimento being in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I don't remember him being in.
He was. What's his face? Perfume guy, cologne guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Max something, or I forget what his name. Feinstein, something like that. There you go.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's something Feinstein. All right. So, on that note, so pretty much we're saying Brooklyn Nine-Nine's the better one. Cause, yeah, actually,
couldn't tell.
Yeah, both shows are awesome though. Don't get me wrong, both shows are awesome. But Brooklyn Nine-Nine show is, I think, a little more funnier, a little more entertaining to watch repetitively. I think for our personal experience, because we're both like junkies when it comes to watching this show. We watch it like all the freaking time. So I guess we're a little biased when we say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so we'll end it on that note. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you guys did, please leave a like, share, subscribe to the channel. As always, really appreciate you guys. Catch you guys later. Peace.